Here's why you play Mozi as a roamer in Honor of Kings. First off, he has excellent crowd control with his stunts and barriers, making him a great initiator. His shield regeneration gives him additional durability, allowing him to absorb damage in fights. Mozi also has excellent HoK with his long-range skills, thanks to his second ability, which disrupts enemy movements and stuns them. However, his ultimate can be interrupted by hard CC, meaning he relies on his allies for protection. Additionally, he has high mana consumption early game, which makes players play less aggressively in the early stages. Mozi's passive, Fight for Peace. Mozi's fourth basic attack is enhanced into a cannon shot, dealing magic damage and knocking back the target for a short duration. Whenever Mozi casts a skill, he gains a shield that absorbs damage for a few seconds. This shield can stack up to 3 times, giving him extra survivability in fights. Mozi's first skill, Peacebringer, pilots his mechanical robot, dashing in a specified direction and dealing magic damage to enemies in his path. After dashing, his next basic attack is enhanced into a cannon shot. This skill allows Mozi to initiate fights or reposition quickly. Mozi's second skill, Cannon Blast, fires a cannonball in a specified direction which explodes upon hitting an enemy, dealing magic damage and stunning enemies in the area for a short duration. After the explosion, a crater remains for a few seconds, dealing continuous magic damage to enemies inside. This is Mozi's primary control skill, making it great for disrupting enemies and securing kills. Mozi's ultimate, Think Inside the Box, deploys a high energy barrier with his mechanical robot, dealing magic damage every 0.5 seconds to enemies who touch the barrier and stunning them in place. The barrier lasts for a few seconds, making it an excellent tool for zoning that can trap enemies and prevent escapes. A typical skill combo for Mozi is to start with his first skill to dash into an enemy, followed up by a basic attack to trigger the enhanced cannon shot. Then use Cannon Blast to stun the target and deal additional damage. Finally, deploy his ultimate to trap enemies and finish them off. Moving on to builds. I usually build Crimson Shadow Redemption, Boots of the Arcane, Holy Grail, Dawn Light, Mask of Agony, and finally Ominous Premonition. These are the arcanas that go along with this build. As for common skills, the best common skills for Mozi in my opinion is Flash, which allows him to reposition quickly, escape danger, or initiate fights more effectively. Prioritize upgrading second skill first as it provides Mozi with his primary stun and area damage. Upgrades first skill as a backup for mobility and extra burst damage, and most importantly, always upgrade his ultimate whenever available. Mozi excels at controlling the battlefield with his stuns and barriers. When engaging, always try to dash into the enemy with his first skill first to get into position. Use his second skill to stun and slow multiple enemies, and if the fight escalates, deploy his ultimate to trap enemies and prevent them from escaping. His shields provide decent durability, but don't solely rely on them. Position carefully to avoid getting burst down, and use the terrain to your advantage by placing barriers and choke points to force enemies into bad position. Finally, always be mindful of cooldowns as Mozi is significantly weaker when his abilities are unavailable.